and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alex, may we have roll call?
Counselor Malonis. Counselor Pedri.
Here.
Counselor Hickerson.
Here.
Counselor Zadi.
Here.
Counselor Hanson.
Here.
Counselor Demas.
Here.
Counselor Thompson.
Here.
Mayor Mickelson.
Here. Okay, before we move forward with the election of the council president, I'd like to invite the Reverend Dr. Bernadine Kraft up to lead an opening prayer.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. It's really an honor to be able to start you off with a new council and a new year with just a short little prayer. So if you would join me. Holy Father, I ask your blessing upon these dedicated city council members and all those who work tirelessly to improve our community and the lives of our citizens in these challenging times. In the words of a blessing written many years ago by an old Benedictine nun, they ring just as true today as when they were written. I ask you to bless these, your people, with discomfort. Discomfort with half-truths and easy answers, that they might question with their hearts and with their minds. I ask you to bless them with anger at injustice, exploitation, and oppression, that they might work for justice, freedom, and peace. I ask you to bless them with tears shed for those in sorrow, sickness, need, grief, or any adversity, that you may reach out your hand to comfort them and turn their pain into joy. And I ask you to bless them with foolishness. Foolishness enough to believe that they can indeed make a difference in this world and that they can do what others claim cannot be done. And we pray this in your most holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion to approve the revised agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Zadi. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Demas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously, which brings us to election of council president. And council, I would entertain nominations for council president.
Your Honor,
Councilor Zadi,
I'd like to nominate Counselor Demas.
is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations, Madam
I'm very
President.
humbled. Thank you.
See ya.
All right, it was a good year.
You're leaving quick. Wow.
It's because we had bid openings.
Don't mess around.
We'll see you there.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, good to see you.
Wow, guys.
You gotta-
This was closer.
do you need your computer?
Move that.
Okay, very good. That brings us to our consent agenda.
IDs.
First up, we have the approval of minutes, the special city council meeting minutes and city council meeting minutes of December 17th, 2024. The Police Civil Service Commission 2024 annual report, the Sweetwater County Joint Travel and Tourism Board fiscal year 2023 to 2024 annual audit report, a letter from the Wyoming Historical Society thanking Mayor Mickelson for his dedicated service to the state of Wyoming, and a notice from Project West regarding a living tribute to the city of Rock Springs through a tree planting in the Bridger Teton and Shoshone National Forests. Council, do we have a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Demas. Do we have an, oh, no, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? The motion carries unanimously, bringing us to bid openings for the Class A biosolids disposal area.
Oh, you're fine. You're golden. Okay.
First up, we have H&M Field Services from Rock Springs, Wyoming. Okay. There's a bid bond, and the total bid amount is $99,287.50. $99,287.50. Next up, we have Wiley Construction from Rock Springs, Wyoming. There is a bid bond, and the total bid amount is $139,364. $139,364.
Oh, it's okay. I got it.
Our next big bid is from Searle Brothers Construction here in Rock Springs. There's a bid bond, and the total bid amount is $118,232. $118,232. And our final bid is from DiBernardi Construction here in Rock Springs. There's a bid bond, and the total bid amount is $174,223.45. $174,223.45. Okay. And that brings us to presentations and proclamations. First up, we have Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. Across the country on January 9th, citizens take the lead to demonstrate support on National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. Law enforcement officers of every rank have chosen a profession that puts their life on the line every day for their communities. They have answered a call to public service that is demanding and often unappreciated. On National Law Enforcement Day, we have the opportunity to thank them for their service and offer a token of respect. We are honored to stand by the Rock Springs Police Department's dedicated law enforcement professionals who consistently safeguard our families and communities, protect our constitutional rights, and respond in times of crisis. It is with immense gratitude that we set apart a day to reflect on and celebrate the selfless service and immeasurable contributions our law enforcement personnel make to ensure every citizen is safe in their home, workplace, and community. We stand by our police department and lend our wholehearted support to them as they continue to give of themselves for the benefit of all. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Max Mickelson, Mayor of the City of Rock Springs, do hereby declare January 9th, 2025 to be Law Enforcement Appreciation Day in the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming, and call upon citizens to reflect on the way in which our lives have been touched by the officers who stand guard over our community. Chief, is there anything you'd like to say? It's a volunteer, not a voluntold.
Speech.
Would actually. I'd like to thank JJ for pointing out that that's on the agenda about 30 seconds ago. To give me time to prepare a speech. But in all seriousness, I think it is appropriate to recognize the men and women who work here for the police department. I know that I take pride in the group that works here. I know they do the job right. We focus on constitutional policing in Rock Springs, and I know that the men and women that we have working here do that job correctly and with great pride. So I thank you for taking time to recognize that, and I appreciate everyone on the council for recognizing it. Thank you.
moment.
Yeah. It's a for real proclamation.
Are we going? I guess we're going, guys. Come on. Kodak moment.
Thank you.
Yes, you do. Yes. It's Kodak moment.
I got it engraved.
You did?
I had it before.
It's nice.
Horses, because
Ma'am,
nice and tough.
would you like to say anything before I read the proclamation?
It's Carrie.
Thank you.
I just want to thank you for doing this proclamation. January 15th is National Intestinal Malrotation Awareness Day. And our daughter Natalie was diagnosed with it at birth 18 years ago and has had many surgeries since then and hospital visits. So we're just trying to bring awareness because it's very often misdiagnosed and can be fatal if it's not caught. So just want to spread some awareness of, I don't know if anybody else in Sweetwater County has had to deal with it or not. So just want to bring awareness to it. So
Well, you certainly did in my case. I had no awareness. And so it was very useful and helpful to learn something new. So it's very appreciated.
yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Intestinal malrotation is a congenital birth defect thought to affect 1 in 500 births, with 1 out of 6,000 live births becoming symptomatic. Out of these, children are significantly more likely to be diagnosed during infancy, but adults are also an underrepresented patient group. To reduce the mortality and morbidity associated with malrotation, it is vital for healthcare providers and the community to be aware of signs and symptoms. The cardinal symptoms of valvulus is vomiting bile, a green or bright yellow fluid, which is reported in a high number of pediatric cases. Other symptoms include abdominal pain, dehydration, lethargy, failure to thrive. Intestinal Malrotation and Valvulus Awareness Day provides an important opportunity to emphasize the urgency of this condition in memory of Maya Brown, and it further helps promote the mission of the Malro Fighters Foundation. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Max Mickelson, Mayor of the City of Rock Springs, do hereby declare January 15th, 2025 to be Intestinal Malrotation and Valvulus Awareness Day in the City of Rock Springs to create a pathway for continual awareness, support research, promote education among medical professionals, create scholarships and grant opportunities for the community, and disseminate information while supporting those affected by it. Thank you.
A Kodak moment.
Hold it. Okay. Thank you.
I'm starting to think about those snacks.
What's that?
I'm starting to think about those snacks.
Okay. That brings us to petitions and public comment. If you'd like to address the council and I, please approach the podium and identify yourself and any organizations that you may represent.
Hello, Mayor and Council. Representative JT Larson for House District 17. Just wanted to stop by on the last council meeting before legislative session starts. Let you know that if you have any concerns or hear anything during legislative session that may impact the city or its residents, please reach out. I believe you all have my phone number. Again, for my constituents in Rock Springs, please reach out as well. My number is 307-389-0162. And reach out anytime during legislative session. And a text message usually gets to me quicker because I'm on the floor. So, but again, call and leave a message if it's better to explain it over a voicemail. And I have a few bills that I'm working on. One is for industrial siting, impact assistance fees for federally permitted projects. The second phase of the Natrium facility in Kemmer is federally permitted. There's no industrial siting jurisdiction for that project. And so what I'm trying to do is make sure impact assistance fees still apply to the cities and counties that are impacted. So we can still get some funding out of the sales tax that's already collected. And then also working on a wildfire liability protection bill. And that was an interim committee topic for the Minerals Committee. We ran out of time to really get down to the nuts and bolts. So I've worked with the Rural Electric Association and other entities to get this bill where we can protect the public utilities from having unnecessary frivolous claims for wildfires when they've set up a plan and followed it. So there's a few others that I'm going to throw out there, but just those were the top two. So thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Council, do you have any comments or questions for Representative Larson? You can expect to hear from us. Very good. Okay. Would anyone else like to address the council and I?
Max, City Councilman. My name is Shirley Ann Sukeli. And Max, you and I always talk when we get together and we're in your room and we talk about God, don't we? I talk about Heavenly Father. You talk about God. Well, I got inspired that I needed to give you guys 2 months off so you could recuperate from me. But this year I have got a good agenda going of great questions of people, especially senior citizens that I'll start on the next, in the next round. But I'd like to say a few things to Rick Malonis. Rick and I have known each other a long time. You remember, Rick, when I was running for mayor?
Oh, yes.
And you had the signs and you did these signs. Do you remember you and I going up on a hill, this great big huge sign up of Come and Go, to put that sign up there? And
Ma'am, I've got Mini Mart up on the hill.
yes. Oh, we made it up there. I have no idea. But I don't think that I really thanked you for that or for the signs that you did and the things that you did for me. And at that time, I do know that the mayor and city councilman were really giving you trouble. And I was sad about that. And I know that that's the past. The past is the past. But you got a good mayor here. And you better stay that way, Max. Yeah.
I'm certainly going to do my best, ma'am.
I bet you are. With my help, just kind of tell you what's going on. I'm sure that you will be, because there are people out there, and you know for a fact, Max, that they can't come up here and speak like we can get up here and speak. They're afraid to, but they have things that they want to say. And so then I'll be representing them. I'll ask if I can say their name. It would be okay?
That's between you and them, ma'am.
Yeah, to do that. But, Rick, this is what you taught me for winning this election. God has a sense of humor. Oh, my gosh. Of anybody, You were the best opponent to win the election. I miss Max. I miss, I miss Tim. The secret tape recorder. I miss him. We had some good times together, and I hope he's doing well. Will you please tell him that for me?
I will.
Well, I hope this year is going to be a good year for all of you, but I have just one more thing to say. You 6 councilmen that gave our family, our soldiers that died so you could sit in that seat, to the dogs. How's that doing for you? Anything? Are you keeping an eye on it? Are you watching? Are you making sure that they're not peeing and pooping all over the place? Because I am. It is not over until it's over. Because that was wrong. You didn't really go out there and ask these people about it. But thank you, Max. Thank you, Councilman. I can hardly wait to see you the next time, 2 weeks.
Yes, ma'am. We'll be here.
All right.
Is there anyone else?
Mayor, Council, Senator John Kolb, Senate District 12, Rock Springs, a little bit north of town. Excuse my attire. I was working out. My wife didn't want to come to the city council meeting because she was at a commissioner meeting this morning. So I did my best to get over here as quick as I could. But just want to come before you and ask you, and I didn't hear everything that Representative Larson had to say, so excuse me if I repeat something or that I didn't know was said. The session's going to start. There's a lot of issues coming up. Probably the one I heard this morning was property tax reform, and what does that mean, and how does it affect you? And I just want to throw it out there as an open-ended question. Where you at? What do you think? And at the very least, say that look forward to working with the mayor and council in the upcoming legislative session, so we can, I guess, at least we know what both sides are thinking, so we can come up with a solution as best we can. So I'll leave it as an open-ended question. I'm not pushing any particular legislation. I really didn't go there to be a guy pumping out a bunch of new statutes. I came there to be a common sense person and to represent the constituents. And with that, Mayor, I'll ask you if you have any questions you'd like to ask me, and go from there.
Council?
Your Honor,
Councilor Hickerson?
with this property tax reform that passed this last November, do you feel there's any legitimate concern now that it's not tied together with corporate taxes, that the legislature could say, well, we're not making enough to fund our school, so we're just going to hike the taxes on private properties in the future, not with this current legislature, but
Mayor, Councilman Hickerson, I'm sorry. There's no name tag there. I'm lost.
I got moved.
Oh, you're over there.
I got voted
Okay.
out.
All right. Okay. So that just let us constitutionally have another property tax class. And you're right. A future legislative body could up corporate taxes. They could. But we could have upped the whole tax rate before anyway, for everybody. This just merely gave us a mechanism to separate it from residential, which had to be done in order to do that. So no matter if it's a 50% tax initiative or 25% or whatever percent it is, now we can do it without having all these contortions on trying to make it constitutional with rebate programs and things like that. So that makes that easier. Now, to answer your question, I don't know what future legislative bodies are going to do. I think currently the state collects enough taxes to do what we need to do. I am concerned, though, is when we cut the property taxes down and they're going to impact other groups that receive a mill, like fire districts, for example, is probably a real easy one to talk about. What are they going to do with 25, 50% less money? I think, and then the question about backfilling, right? Are we going to backfill it? And some are, some aren't. The long-term home ownership tax program assistance that gives you a 50% reduction in your property tax, that is not backfilled. And it has a very low impact, frankly. We just got the numbers today at the county commission meeting. It's about a little over $200,000 a year is what that program costs, which we knew that. We knew it was a very low impact because not that many people qualify for being 65 years old and 25 years paying property taxes. But these other programs, massive. 120 million was the estimate on that 25% property tax reduction. So that's what 240 if it's 120 in a biennium. Well, that's a lot. I mean, frankly, we can take a hit like that for a couple of years, but in perpetuity, with the cost of education going up, it doesn't seem like those two things are going to mesh. So I hope that answered your question, Counselor.
Council? Okay. We certainly will be reaching out to you. There are several bills that are being worked. My understanding is you guys have about 800 so far to sort through, but there are some that we feel infringe very much on our ability to conduct business as a municipality that we'll want to visit about that we're not super fond of. So I'll get with you and I'll just email you a list like, hey, here's the ones that we've got concerns, and then we can visit about it.
Well, Mayor, on the plus side, we're not a sanctuary city, so
Yeah.
we don't have to deal with that.
We
But-
can what do you call it? Rest comfortably that we will not be a sanctuary city. But it is more. There's some work that was done by the regulatory reduction folks that we have some real concerns in terms of the impact that it would have on our ability to ensure that people are receiving what they're paying for when they're having things constructed and the like, and some safety issues that we would prefer to maintain autonomy over. But it'll be easier because it's a list to send them your way, and then we can chat about it and kind of give you our perspective.
Appreciate that. And as it works itself through the system, maybe we can try to make it better. If we can't stop it, let's just say we can try to blunt it.
I think there's certainly some room for some reduction in the regulations that we have in place, but I've looked and watched what they've done in Arizona and in Utah, and they've gotten pretty loosey-goosey with their oversight, and that's led to people, dropping $750,000 on a house that they can't live in because it's cracked in half and condemned. So some balance to the reduction would be good. We don't want to swing so far that it's the Wild West.
Yes, Mayor. Well, I think a lot of this comes from some area up north of here, which is probably the reason why we're all talking about this.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't.
Although,
think,
interestingly, one of them comes from just directly north of us that I actually think would be a great idea, which is a bill that would allow children, like if you want to have a lemonade stand, that you would not need a municipal permit to sell your Coke and cookies.
I would happy to sponsor or co-sponsor such a bill, Mayor.
Yeah, that's a great one. So, very good. Thank you, sir,
All right.
Senator.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, for your time.
Very good. Okay, anyone else? Okay, with that, public comment is closed, and we will move to bills and claims, starting with the bills and claims for January 7th, 2025. Council, do I have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve the bills and claims for January 7th, 2025.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Abstaining.
Abstaining.
Okay, the motion carries with Councilors Thompson and Petrie abstaining, bringing us to salaries for December 23rd, 2024. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve the salaries for December 23rd, 2025. Oh, 24.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Abstaining.
Abstaining.
Okay, the motion carries with Councilors Petrie and Thompson abstaining. That takes us to new business. Our first item is a request from the Police Department for permission to fill a vacant sergeant position. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Hanson.
on the heels of the Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, it's my honor to approve this request.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Thompson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I would just echo the chief that we are extremely proud of our police department here and the work that they're doing and how much they have stepped up to make sure that our community is kept safe. So with that, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously, taking us to a request from the police department for permission to fill a vacant animal control officer position at the animal control shelter. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Counselor Demas?
I make a motion to approve this request.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Pedri. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I would just note, we were informed today that from March of 2024 through December of 2024, that the animal control was given almost $30,000 in donations to help fund spaying and neutering. The amount of animals that they are processing is really pretty mind-boggling, and their ability to find placements for them and to avoid having to put them down is really impressive. I think they're running through about 200 dogs a month. People are just abandoning animals in droves. And at some point, this body and I are going to have to figure out how to complete the transition that we started when we became a no-kill shelter and moved away from the gas chamber and doing those things. We need to do something with the actual facility because they're not properly equipped to manage what they've become. And so it's going to be on us to figure out whether that's a capital campaign or something else, a way to get them the resources that they need to take care of those animals. So with that, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously, taking us to a request from the Parks and Recreation Department for acceptance of the final Barry Dunn Needs Assessment, Resource Analysis, and Strategic Plan. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor, I'd move to approve that request.
Thank you, Councilor Zadi. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously, which takes us to a request for 9 malt beverage permits from Sarah Wurst for the Rock Springs Grizzlies hockey games on January 10th, February 8th, 14th, 22nd, and 28th, and March 1st, 7th, 8th, and 12th, 2025, from 4 p.m. until 11 p.m. at the Family Recreation Center Ice Arena. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Pedri. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously, which takes us to our resolutions for this evening. The first is Resolution 2025-01. Alex, if you would, please.
A resolution of the Rock Springs City Council formally declaring a vacancy to exist in the office of City Council Member for Ward 4.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor.
Whoa. Gentlemen?
Your
Councilor
Honor, I
Hanson.
move to approve Resolution 2025-01.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Zadi. Moved by Councilor Hanson, seconded by Councilor Zadi. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
just for clarification for the public, just to kind of briefly describe the process, we're declaring the position vacant as of tonight. We will be accepting letters of interest to apply for the position, and then the next council meeting will be the vote for council to replace the council member for Ward 4.
Correct. Thank you, Councilor. Were there any abstentions? Okay, hearing none, motion carries unanimously. So we will be accepting those letters, for the next week? I can't remember the date.
October 14th.
Sorry, I just want to check.
Your Honor,
Yeah, yes, sir.
counselors, did you have a question about how long the letters would be? I think that
Memory served it was a week last time so that we had time to prepare the agenda.
I think that the council could accept letters all the way up until the day that the nominations are made, which will be 2 weeks from tonight.
Okay. So then the 21st. of January is the deadline for anybody who's interested in serving in that capacity. Which brings us to Resolution 2025-02.
A resolution accepting and approving a contract for professional services with Amplio Services Group LLC, a Virginia limited liability company, and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor of the city of Rock Springs and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk of the city of Rock Springs to execute said contract on behalf of said city.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor, I'd move to approve Resolution 2025-02.
Thank you. Councilor Zadi, do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Demus. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously, bringing us to our final item this evening, Resolution 2025-03.
A resolution accepting and approving an amended memorandum of understanding between the Board of Commissioners of Sweetwater County, Wyoming, the Board of County Commissioners of Lincoln County, Wyoming, the Board of County Commissioners of Uinta County, Wyoming, the Town of Granger, Wyoming, the Town of LaBarge, Wyoming, the City of Kemmer, Wyoming, the Town of Diamondville, Wyoming, the Town of Opal, Wyoming, the Town of Cokeville, Wyoming, the Town of Afton, Wyoming, the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming, the City of Green River, Wyoming, the Town of Superior, Wyoming, the Town of the Town of Bear River, Wyoming, the Town of Lyman, Wyoming, the Town of Mountain View, Wyoming, and the City of Evanston, Wyoming, regarding the amounts and schedule for distribution of impact assistance funds for the industrial siting Kemmer Power Station Unit 1 project.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demus?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-03.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hanson. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor.
Councilor Hickerson?
So I read this amendment like 4 times, and I'm not smart, so could you explain to me what the amendment is to the MOU?
The original MOU read that the Rock Springs City Council had approved and caused myself to sign it, and I was not comfortable signing that because you had in fact not acted. So I had them change it to read that I was causing it to happen, and then you guys could affirm or deny.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone else? Okay, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? The motion carries unanimously, which brings us to council updates. It's your opportunity to share what y'all have been up to.
Nothing.
Holidays were a quiet time. Okay, we are adjourned.
The holidays.
Your Honor, can you get Alex to read all those lists?
In all the towns, I think you missed a couple.
On New Year's Eve.
That whole thing is so hinky
No,
and
I
weird.
played at the South.
And I